Are you experiencing a spiritual awakening? Here's what to expect. 1. Wake-up call. It always begins with a rupture. Something small, something strange, something that doesn't fit into the version of reality you were trained to accept. You're living your normal life, doing the routine, and then a sudden internal shift hits you. This isn't all there is. It's not sadness or boredom. It's a crack in the illusion. A split in the wall that lets in a sliver of light you can't unsee. You notice how much of your life runs on autopilot. How your beliefs came pre-packaged. How you've been acting out roles you never auditioned for. This wake-up call isn't enlightenment. It's disruption. The moment your consciousness rebels against the script you inherited. Some try to ignore it. They bury it in work, noise, money, relationships, religion, anything to keep the old world intact. But once that crack appears, the truth begins leaking in. It's the start of the unraveling, even if you're not ready to admit it. 2. Questioning everything. This stage is demolition. You start with small questions and end up dismantling entire belief systems. Why do you behave the way you do? Why do you accept certain morals, norms, and fears? Who taught you to see the world the way you see it? You start recognizing how much of your identity is borrowed, inherited, or conditioned. You become the person who asks, why? Too often for the comfort of others. You disrupt family expectations, cultural scripts, spiritual dogmas, even your own ego narratives. And the more you question, the more artificial the old framework feels. This stage is disorienting. Relationships shift. People who like the predictable version of you feel threatened. You may feel isolated or misunderstood. But beneath the discomfort, clarity is forming. You're no longer satisfied with hand-me-down truths. You're searching for something real, something that belongs to you. 3. Withdrawal from the old life. Once you've poked enough holes in your old reality, it starts collapsing. What used to entertain you now feels hollow. Certain friends drain you. Old habits feel like costumes from a past role. You may retreat emotionally, socially, or spiritually. It can look dramatic from the outside, but inside, you're creating space. You're shedding the version of you that was built to satisfy others. This withdrawal is a cocoon. You're not running away from life. You're stepping back to understand it without distortion. Your instincts tell you that staying immersed in the old environment will only pull you backward. You might not know where you're headed yet, but you know where you can't return. You're between identities, unsettled, but awakening. 4. Dark night of the soul. This is the descent, the stage most people try to bypass, but it's unavoidable. Everything unhealed surfaces. Insecurities, trauma, guilt, shame, fear, illusions. You confront the parts of yourself you've avoided your whole life. The ego, stripped of its defenses, begins to collapse. This isn't depression. It's ego death. The dismantling of your false selves. The universe puts you in a room with your truth and locks the door. Nothing comforts you the way it used to. Old pleasures don't distract. Old identities don't soothe. You feel like you're dissolving. And in a way, you are. The dark night is violent only because the ego resists annihilation. But this stage is purification. It destroys the illusions that kept you trapped. The pain isn't punishment. It's transformation. Those who surrender come out cleaner, clearer, and infinitely freer. 5. Energy awakening. After the psychological storm comes the energetic shift. Some people experience physical sensations. Tingling, heat, pressure, waves of emotion. Others experience intuitive sharpness, symbolic dreams, sudden clarity, or heightened sensitivity. This isn't magic. It's your nervous system recalibrating after shedding its old defenses. You're more aware of yourself, of others, of patterns, of truth. You feel when someone is lying. You sense misalignment. You detect manipulation before a word is spoken. You notice synchronicities because you're finally paying attention. Your intuition stops whispering and starts speaking plainly. Your inner world becomes louder, more coherent, more authoritative. You're not operating operating on fear anymore. You're operating on awareness. 6. New identity forming. Slowly, a new sense of self emerges. Not forced, not fabricated, discovered. You begin choosing beliefs consciously. You set boundaries where you never could before. You pursue what genuinely matters to you. You abandon what doesn't align with your truth. You're not reinventing yourself. You're uncovering yourself. This identity is flexible. It doesn't cling to roles. It doesn't need validation. It isn't built on fear or obligation. You're writing a story you actually mean, maybe for the first time in your life. You feel lighter, more authentic, more aligned. The person you're becoming is grounded in intention, not expectation. 7. Deep clarity. The fog lifts. Things that used to confuse you now make sense. You see the patterns in your own behavior, the patterns in others, and the hidden dynamics that shape the world. You understand your past without identifying with it. You see your triggers without being ruled by them. Clarity isn't certainty. It's alignment. You trust your perception. You trust your intuition. You trust your boundaries. You're not perfect, but you're present. You respond instead of reacting. You feel instead of numbing. You operate from awareness rather than survival. Life becomes less chaotic. Not because life changed, but because you did. 8. Purpose emerges. Purpose doesn't appear during the chaos. It comes after the clearing. In this stage, everything you've been through, every struggle, insight, wound, talent, starts forming a direction. Something calls to you. Something resonates. Purpose arrives not as pressure but as recognition. It's not about destiny or fate. It's about alignment. It's the moment your inner evolution begins expressing outwardly. You know where your energy wants to go. Toward creating, teaching, healing, building, exploring, awakening, or simply living truthfully. Purpose becomes an anchor, not a burden. 9. Service to others or service to truth. Awakening becomes practical. You stop hoarding your insights. You start contributing. Whether through your work, your art, your voice, your presence, your honesty, or your example. Some people guide others directly. Some simply embody authenticity and inspire without trying. This stage isn't about martyrdom. It's about impact. You start living in a way that elevates rather than extracts. You contribute to the collective without losing yourself. 10. Full integration. Awakening becomes a lifestyle, not a moment. You're not perfect, but you're awake. You navigate life with awareness, inner stability, and grounded presence. You can face uncertainty without collapsing. You can handle chaos without losing your center. Integration means you've absorbed the journey. You've become someone who lives consciously in a world that often chooses unconsciousness. You've arrived, and yet, the journey continues.